LinkedIn conversation ads is an effective ad type that more B2B marketers are testing to scale pipeline. With its personalized messaging and custom conversation flows, B2B marketers are using this ad type to scale demo requests on LinkedIn. Combine conversation ads with a lead gen form and a gift card offer, and now you've got something really compelling. The downside of LinkedIn conversation ads, especially if you're offering a gift card for a demo, is you can drive some really poor fit quality leads. I'm Silvio Perez, and in today's video, I want to talk about how you can improve your lead quality from LinkedIn conversation ads. And if you like content around B2B advertising, be sure to subscribe and click on that bell icon to be notified of future videos. The first thing you can do to improve your lead quality from LinkedIn conversation ads is to check your audience targeting. This is unfortunately where most B2B marketers go wrong when trying to drive leads from LinkedIn ads. Now, in this video, we're talking primarily around LinkedIn conversation ads and drawing high quality leads, but this is across the spectrum. But this is also equally more important when it comes to driving demo requests and you're offering an incentive like a gift card. You don't want just anybody taking you up on that offer. There are people out there with bad intentions that do like free stuff. So you definitely want to make sure your audience targeting is as dialed in as possible. So when building out your audiences, if you're offering a gift card for a demo request, really try to keep that audience as narrow as possible, as targeted as possible. So try to keep your overall audience size ideally less than 100,000. And that's going to be a really tight and targeted audience for you. So that way you can make sure you are getting in front of the right person. So when building your audience here in the LinkedIn Ads Manager, keep an eye on the total audience size count here. And then also as you build out your audience, equally important is to make sure you're dialing in your exclusion audiences. Make sure you're excluding poor fit functions, bad job titles, member skills such as like sales, consulting, or business development that are not relevant to your ICP. Take advantage of both the narrowing capabilities and the exclusion capabilities to make sure you are targeting the right person. Now, a really great audience that I recommend for most people to start off with if you're offering a demo request, and you especially so if you're incentivizing with a gift card, is to make sure you're targeting job titles. It's one of the most specific, if not the most specific, in terms of how you can go about targeting people on LinkedIn. So for example, if I wanted to go after VPs of marketing, I can go ahead and target that specific title, and I'm only going to reach people with that title. But if I wanted to take it a step further, because LinkedIn is not perfect, and sometimes you will get people that aren't necessarily that specific job title, you can take it a step further and you can narrow it with something else. So for example, if I don't want to just get in front of any VP of marketing, maybe I want to get in front of a VP of marketing that works for a software company, then you can layer in company industries, for example. So, I want to get in front of VPs of marketing that work in, let's say, corporate services, and, it could be information services, it can be security and investigations. So whatever industry is relevant to you, but essentially you're combining those things together so that you have a more targeted audience. As you're building out your audience as well, to really inform whether or not you're getting in front of the right people, is go ahead and segment your audience by function so you can understand what percentage of your total audience count is LinkedIn saying that audience is part of. So you can see here 100% of my audience is primarily around marketing. So that's really good. That means I've pretty much nailed it. The vast majority, if not the majority of this audience, falls into the marketing bucket, which is great. What you want to avoid here is, for example, if I start to add in more titles, or if you're using like job functions and seniorities that are a little bit broader. So for example, let's say I'm going to go with a seniority of, let's say, director, VP, CXO. I only want to reach people with true decision-making ability, and I'm going to reach people that are directors, VP, CXOs. If you see, if I just leave it here and you look at the function count, my audience size is obviously way too big. Let's keep this as tight as possible because we're trying to get a demo request from the right person and we're incentivizing them. But if you look here at the makeout, you can see, just for the sake of example, 43% falls under business development, 17% operations, 8% education. this is obviously not the right audience for me. I want to get in front of directors, VPs, and people in the C-suite, but I want to get in front of people, in my case, let's say, that work in marketing. So I'm going to go ahead and layer in a job function here of marketing, so I can get a little bit more specific. And really important to make sure when you are combining different audience segments together that you're using the and statement and not the or, and that will combine them and not make it optional. So you can see here our audience size is still too big, 690,000. That's way too broad. We have an option, we have the potential now to make this even more specific. So you can see here we're pretty spot on in terms of the function. You can also layer in by different things. So maybe for your business, you're not trying to get in front of any company, any director, VP, or CXO that works in marketing at any company, but maybe you only want to get in front of people that work in let's say enterprise organizations. So you can filter in company size and add in that company size count that's relevant to you. So maybe that's 1,000 to 5,000, maybe it's 5,000 to 10,000, whatever it is for you. But let's say for us, for the sake of example, enterprise is 1,000 to 5,000. So now we have a little bit more of a more specific audience here. You can see our audience size is a little bit more reasonable for the offer that we're promoting. And you can use the segment breakdown tool to really understand who are you getting in front of. Now, if I wanted to take this a step further and I wanted to get even more specific, I could even layer in something like member skills. So for example, if I want to get in front of directors, VPs, and C-suite individuals that work in marketing that are in enterprise organizations, but I only want to get in front of individuals that work in the software industry, so then I can go ahead and add in a member skill of SaaS, so software as a service. And now you can see my audience just plummeted to 7,500. This is an extremely targeted audience here. This is very specific. So I can add in more member skills to give myself a little bit more breathing room. I can also do B2B marketing or business to business. I think I'm going to do B2B marketing is a little bit more specific. And 21,000 here is a very narrow audience. It's highly targeted. So I'm reaching people within the C-suite, VPs, directors, and marketing within these enterprise organizations that have SaaS or B2B marketing on their LinkedIn profile. So their chances of being my ideal customer profile is much more likely. And equally as important as who you're targeting is who you're excluding. So making sure at the bare minimum you're excluding company names of your company. So you're excluding your employees. Like, we love our employees, but we don't want them to be seeing our ads. We don't want them to be getting conversation ads in their inbox from us when they're not our ICP. That can also fall badly. If your CMO or somebody higher up gets your conversation ad with a gift card, they're going to bring that up to you as the marketing manager or whatever your title might be that's implementing these campaigns. So make sure you're excluding your own company. Make sure you're excluding competitors' companies. Make sure you're excluding closed-won opportunities. And if it's relevant to you based on your audience breakout, make sure you're excluding poor fit functions or job titles or seniorities or even member skills that would classify someone that you're not trying to get in front of. So really the key takeaway here is however you build your audience is up to you. But if we are trying to drive high quality leads, really, think through all of LinkedIn's targeting combinations, make sure to combine them together in a way that makes sense and get creative and test different audience variations, but really make sure that you are dialing in your audience targeting, as this is probably where most people go wrong on LinkedIn that are not driving high quality leads. The second thing you can do to improve your lead quality from LinkedIn conversation ads is to have your form pop up on the second message and have qualifying text. Here's an example of what that could look like. You essentially would have the lead gen form pop up on your second message instead of the first one. So this is going to add in a little bit of friction and some qualifying text that will hopefully get people to become conscious essentially when they're filling out your form and kind of pre-qualify themselves if they actually are worth your time and energy for giving this person a demo. Now, essentially, they would click yes, confirming their interest. This could be whatever you title your call to action, but essentially they would click yes, that they want to proceed with getting a demo. And then once they do that, the form ability to pop up will be here on the second message instead of the first one. And then on this message as well, you would couple it with some qualifying criteria. So for example, great, just to confirm your
qualify one, maybe, you have more than 6 users. Qualifier 2, you're looking to solve, this specific pain point. And then qualifier 3, you have more than X in available spend or budget or whatever the case might be. So you can essentially have this qualifying text and have the form pop up on the second message. So that way, ideally by creating that friction, people again can pre-qualify, and that will lead to higher quality leads.
Hope you're finding this video valuable. If you'd like more content on B2B advertising, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. It helps me out a ton. And be sure to subscribe for future uploads. The third thing you can do to improve your lead quality from LinkedIn conversation ads is specific to using lead gen forms, and that's adding a custom consent and qualifying questions in your actual lead gen form. Now, between number 1 and number 2 of improving your audience targeting and having your message pop up on the second with qualifying text versus the first, you should be in a pretty good place. But if you really want to dial in things further and increase the friction, you can add custom consent checkboxes confirming demo requests, and also add in additional qualifying questions in your lead gen form to really improve your quality.
When creating lead forms in LinkedIn, you have the ability to add custom questions and checkboxes. So when you go to create your form, if you scroll down to lead details and custom questions, under this, you can see custom questions and custom checkboxes. By adding in custom questions such as qualifiers, you can further improve your lead quality because you're adding more friction into the form completion process. Now, it's important to know if you can go overboard with this. I usually recommend just starting with a custom checkbox. But if you do add a lot of custom questions or a custom checkbox, essentially you're adding more friction. You're making it harder for somebody to just fill out this form. And the harder you make it, the more friction you add, the lower your conversion rates will be on average, and the less total volume you will get from your LinkedIn lead gen forms. So just keep that in mind. It can be a double-edged sword if you go overblown with it. At the bare minimum, I recommend adding a custom checkbox. If as a last resort, if you really noticed after doing the other methods we talked about of having the form pop up on the second message with qualifying text, if after doing all that and then also really checking and dialing in your audience targeting, that'll usually take care of it. Most people suffer from the first, which is the audience targeting piece. But if after all that, as a last resort, you're still not getting the quality you would like, you can try using custom questions or a custom checkbox. I recommend you start with just a custom checkbox, as adding in those custom questions can add a lot of friction to your form completion process. So it can be as simple as just creating a custom checkbox and just saying confirm demo request and just making it a required field. So you can see here on the bottom, they have to actually click consenting that they confirm this demo request in order for the form to actually complete. So if I try to submit it right now, it won't let me. I need to actually check this box and then I can submit the form. So this is a great option for you to really have in your back pocket if after doing all of the options we walk through, you still are having issues with quality, especially if you're offering a gift card with LinkedIn conversation ads. This is something definitely worth testing.
Hope this video was valuable. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Check out these 2 videos here and subscribe for future uploads. Until the next video, take care.